With that, I'm delighted to introduce our speaker today, Andrea Champoux. She owns her own company, she's got an LLC set up, and she rents a property on Airbnb, and I've been intrigued by that, want to learn more about it, so I know I've got a bunch of questions for her when she gets done. Andrea.
Thank y'all. Do you want me to sit or do you want me to stand?
Whatever you're comfortable
Okay.
doing.
Okay, I'll go ahead and stand. Is this working? Can you hear me? Do I need
Yes.
to? Okay. So, like Steve said, my name is Andrea Champoux. I have a couple rental properties here in Lincoln and have my own investment company. I've been investing for like 2.5 years-ish. I got the inspiration from my dad. He's been doing it about 40 years. So that has been my ultimate goal, to hopefully take over someday. And I basically got into the business because of that. And Airbnb had been something that a lot of other investors had been doing before, and I had been seeing that they were doing it. And so I was like, well, I'll jump in and I'll do it too. My dad was building a couple houses out like 5 minutes from my house. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll test the waters and see if this is maybe something that I want to do. I had no prior experience with Airbnb or anything like that. It was definitely a risk and a challenge that I thought I would never get into. But it has turned out to be something that I absolutely love, and never expected myself to be in the hospitality business, especially with my investing side that I'm in with I have a couple rental properties and a couple flips going on, so it's just something that I took a risk on, and I'm loving it. And so my house is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house. We provide the towels and laundry room, all kitchen accessories with pots and pans and silverware and all the different stuff. And also the Airbnb app makes it super simple to use with communicating between the guests. And before you check in, it gives you times when you can check in and check out like a hotel. And it provides just such a great experience for everyone involved, whether that be you on the hosting side or you're staying. I have heard many people say that they will never stay in a hotel again after staying in an Airbnb, just because of that extra touch that the host puts in, or with little notebooks or treats on the beds when they arrive, or just a sparkling clean house. So, and then it's also another thing where, as like on the rental side, for me, it's like you clean up a house, you make it look pretty, and then someone else lives in it, which is almost the same as an Airbnb. But it's kind of your extra personal touch in the house, and you get to kind of be an interior designer for a couple weeks at a time, which is awesome. So, and it's just turned out to be something that is a great experience for everybody involved. So, yeah, and I'm open for questions.
Oh,
Can
okay.
anybody?
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, are most of your stays 1 or 2 nights, or, for this weekend, I assume you're booked every football Saturday?
Almost every Saturday, but yes. Yeah.
Or do you get some longer term stays, like for a month or 2?
Yes, so I actually just had some guests stay for a month, and they just left last week. But otherwise, it's from anywhere, from a night to 3 days, a weekend, a football game, different things like that. Or graduation, all kinds of different events and nights.
Out of a 30-day month, how many days are you typically rented, would you say?
About 23 or 25. Yeah. So it's been pretty good. Yeah.
So treat this like I don't know it.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, I don't know it. So this is a house that you have, right?
Yes.
That you own.
Yep.
And you're renting it out on short term.
Yep.
It's just one entity, one couple, one person, just for the house, or multiple?
Yeah. So.
How does this work?
Yeah. So it's just a house, and then everything goes through the app. And so I have like beds and everything. Some people do rooms. They can rent out individual rooms, and then for a cheaper cost. So people do $40 a room instead of the whole $150 for the whole place.
For the whole house.
So yeah, but I offer the whole house, and then they can come in, do their thing just like they would live in it for a couple nights, and then they stay,
And this
and
is
then
in
they
Lincoln?
leave. Yep. Mhm.
And this is found either on the website or you said an app?
Yeah, so it's through the Airbnb app, and then I think he also shared my link as
Okay,
well.
yeah.
So
If you go to our
Yeah.
newsletter this week and click on her LLC name, it will take you to her Airbnb listing. If you've never visited the Airbnb site, check it out. And
Yeah.
the other thing that surprised me, when I was lining this up, I wanted to get an Airbnb owner. So I put a email out to our tenants here and our past tenants and said, hey, I'm looking for somebody that owns an Airbnb. Do you know anybody? I was shocked at the number of people that got back to me. It's a big thing. There's a lot of Airbnbs right here in Lincoln. I had no
Yes.
clue.
yep, yeah, in the back. Sorry.
Do you have to have a different kind of insurance?
So the thing that I got lucky with, so my dad owns all of them, and I pay him rent. So I'm like a tenant to him, and then it's just simpler that way, and yeah. So it's almost like I'm living there, but I'm just short-term renting it. So yeah.
What do you do to differentiate yourself from the other Airbnbs here? What's your best way of gaining new clients?
So definitely with the different amenities, it is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, all master suites. Which is an original plan that he has, that is only his. So that differentiates, then everyone has their own bathroom and all the different stuff. So that's something that sets us aside from our competition, and definitely you can upscale your beddings or, all the different stuff. And definitely your reviews are a huge thing on Airbnb. And then they can type in, it was a great stay, unique stay, or sparkling clean, so it's just a lot of minor touches that people love. Yeah, go ahead.
What does Lincoln have, what does the city of Lincoln have in terms of regulations for owning Airbnbs? Because I know it varies from city to city.
Yeah, so I know there was a huge blast in the news about it, but there isn't any regulations or anything that I have come across. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you able to flex your rates according to the busy times, like, of course,
Yes.
football Saturday?
Yeah, so definitely, and that's another awesome thing about the app and through Airbnb is you can go right in, and they have a thing called Smart Pricing, Smart Booking, and you can set your minimum price and then your maximum price. So then it'll fluctuate for you in the times, or like on football Saturdays, you can go right in and plug in what price you want. So it's great. Makes it super flexible and easy. Yeah.
Have you had any problem, like, if you just rent for one night at a time, like, I've heard maybe people would be more prone to go there just to party?
Yeah, so I know I've never had it happen to me or anybody else that I know, but in your rules you can put in no parties, no pets, different things like that, and then you're like, well, what if someone does anyways? Through Airbnb you can kind of like rate them and how they stayed and how they left the house and different things like that, so you can take action that way if things were damaged, and you can charge them or whatever too. So yeah.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
One is your place residential,
Yes. Yep.
and with Airbnb, does that make you commercial now? With zoning laws.
I think it would still be residential because it's just a house in, just in a.
But you're doing a commercial business out of the place.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really doing it, I guess. I don't know. That's a tricky question.
But I suppose any business, any
yeah.
owner of a house that rents a house would be a commercial.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where it's gonna get
So-
interesting as a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
better book my time now.
Yeah.
For multiple night stays, do Airbnbs provide like maid service?
So they don't, but
Okay.
so like, at least I haven't, or I haven't heard anything about them doing that. But like my people who stayed a month, I offered, because I'm the one who goes in and cleans it. It's because it's mostly my full-time job. So I go in there and I clean it, and I just offered. I'm like, well, if you need me to come in and vacuum or clean while you guys are away, I can do that. It's perfectly fine. But I don't believe they offer. I mean, a host might, pay someone to go in if they're for a long period of time. But yeah.
And then do you pay via this app or do you?
Yep, so it's all through the app. And if you're ever booking one, don't ever go outside the app.
So in other words, you can't be found on Travelocity.
So I think you can advertise through there, but the tricky part is your calendar. So you have to maybe block off certain dates for your calendar or different things like that to make sure they're flexible with each so you don't double book on. And then, and then if you were to cancel, then that gets your reviews down. And so it's all about the reviews. Yeah.
Are they able to cancel, like, if they?
Yeah. Yep. And it's up to, so I think 24 hours is half refund, and then 48 hours you can't. No refund. But otherwise, before that 48 hours is up, then you can cancel. Yeah.
And every host can choose that, right? Because I know when I look at some, it's like they're extreme. They have like different levels of like extreme cancel policy, where it's like you can't cancel within 2 weeks, and some are like 24 hours, some are 48 hours. So it's like
it varies on the
that's a
host. Yeah.
concept of like why it might be better to book your space.
Yeah.
Oh, I can cancel in 48 hours.
Yep.
Versus this one, I'm locked in for a month. So.
Definitely. Yeah.
So do you do any like security measures? Like, are you using cameras or like how do you protect yourself?
So I've only been about 2 months into this, and it's a newer developed neighborhood, which I know it can happen anywhere. But I am looking into getting like a Ring doorbell so I can see who's coming and going, and then some cameras out front and back too. So yes, definitely for the near future.
And what's the Airbnb policy on that? There has to be.
They don't have anything.
Because I've heard
Yeah.
stories of those like being
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
Which is why I was curious.
Yeah. So
What
yeah.
would it cost to be an Airbnb?
So it is all dependent on, you know, the space that you have, depending on the bedrooms, and all the different amenities that you choose to have in there. Definitely. So I mean, it would vary for everyone, but yeah. Yeah.
What are some of the restrictions that Airbnb puts on you? Because I know they do have some restrictions.
I haven't really come across any actually. So, do you have one in mind, or were you thinking of one that
Well,
I might have forgotten?
was reading this article about this couple that they were using Airbnb all the time, and then they made a statement and Airbnb cut them off. They would not allow them to rent anymore.
Oh.
So I didn't know what kind of restrictions they have for you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I know that you can go in. Maybe if like if someone or you leave a bad review for a host or something like that, I know that they can go in, and if someone calls, then you can go and get that taken off and different things like that. So, yeah. But yeah.
Now, Airbnb obviously is a for-profit company, so what kind of a percentage do you need to pay them on each rental?
So it is dependent on the amount that the people stay and the cost. So it comes out of that. So, for example, if it's like a $5 a night stay, then they would take. So then I have a cleaning fee that you pay, and then they take. I think it's 3% or something like that as a service fee, just for using the app and different things like that. But it's very little, so.
Okay, so you can add a cleaning fee on top.
Yep, and then it's whatever price you want, yeah. Not that people pay for. And another thing, while we're talking about the price, they recently just came out, or they sent out an email about taxes, and they're going to be charging that on to the future guests. So I wouldn't have to, any host wouldn't have to pay any taxes or anything like that for it. So, yeah.
Back to the business in the Lincoln. Lincoln has taxes they put on hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And are you affected by that, or?
They don't. So it's mostly just that service fee, and then it's kind of like an income tax type of thing is what they're taking out this time of year. So yeah, instead of charging us,
So it wouldn't be So if it's in the downtown area with the arena tax and everything, that wouldn't be
Yeah.
affected at all? You wouldn't be affected at all?
Well, it would be affected to the owner of that. Yeah. Yep. But not necessarily anything to do with the Airbnb or short-term rental or anything like that.
I did that change.
Does this app cost anything to install?
Nope, it's completely free, and you can go in and set an account and basically go on and
Like
you
if I had
can
a spare bedroom, I could
even-
rent it out tomorrow.
yeah.
You got one?
So like if your house, yeah.
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 Yeah, and a lot of people, they'll leave for the weekend and they'll list it, and you can deactivate it instead of going in every time and listing it and putting all your details in. You can deactivate it and activate if you're going to be gone or whatever, and close off your dates, and it's very flexible.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I got another question.
Yeah.
It's your house that you stay in? Do you
So,
rent rooms out of your house? And
No.
if you do,
Yeah.
how do you keep them from going in your doors?
so it's not my house, and I don't live there.
But if it was.
But if it was, so kind of, I have all of my cleaning supplies and everything in the back storage room, and I just put a lock on the door. And it's as easy as that, and I've never had any problems with people breaking in or anything.
How
So
many homes do you have?
I only have one Airbnb, but otherwise I have 3 rentals.
Can you
and-
have a lot of them? Is there one?
Yeah, yep. There's a family in Lincoln who has like 10, I think. So they're super easy. Yeah.
So how do you handle the key exchange?
So I have a lockbox on the house. So then when they check in, or I think it's a day before their stay, they get an email with all the check-in information and all the different stuff, and it has the code on there, and you just type in the code and the key's there and you're in. So yeah. Yeah.
So there was a city ordinance that was involved. Did they repeal that? It had to be downtown to do this? I remember reading that.
I
Some homeowners got
remember.
upset. you know,
Yeah, I remember
outside
there
of
was
the-
something, but
We're gonna get
I
out
know
there.
there's a numerous amount that are not downtown and so
Yeah.
I'm not for sure.
Because technically
But
there's an ordinance
and I
against it.
yeah.
Two-part question.
Yeah.
You were talking about your app.
Mhm.
Are you able to personalize that to some degree? Because the other thing you said earlier, you like to personalize the Joanna, if you will.
Yeah.
Of decorating it,
Mhm.
the amenities. Are you
Yeah.
able to transfer that into your marketing side?
Yeah, so you can post pictures of the whole space, and they actually have another thing with kind of like the accessibility is what they call it, and which is more of like for handicap and different things like that. So you can go in and say, well, if you have a 0 entry, then you can take a picture of that and post that on there in that certain section.
Is your unit accessible?
It has 2 stairs to the front, but everything is on the main level once you get into the house.
If there are,
Laundry.
so it's not ramped?
No.
Not wheelchair accessible?
Nope. Mm-mm. Yeah, go ahead.
On your site, are you able to add video to it, or is it just limited to pictures?
I think just pictures. I haven't ever tried to do video, but I think it's just pictures. Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
Do you have a garage with your property?
I do. There's a 2-stall garage with it.
Do you let them have that too?
Yep.
How do you
Mhm.
do that with like the garage door opener?
So I have the 1 key, and they can go in and hit the door, and I just leave that up to them. Because some people like it in there, some people don't. I found that out. So, yeah, it's just whatever they prefer. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you said no to anyone?
I have not. Nope. And then I know you can do that. So they have a thing with instant booking. They can go in, and it just makes it super easy for them to just book it a year out or whatever, different things like that. But there are certain limitations that you can put on certain people, or you can require a profile picture or government ID or different things like that to require for the guest. But you can say no, but I haven't had to, luckily. So, yeah.
Are most of your bookings like pretty far in advance, or do they come in kind of?
All the time. So I got it listed July 1st. And then I had bookings right away on the 4th. So, yeah, and then they're sporadic all over the place. So, and I even have bookings for next year going. So, yeah.
What's your biggest challenge? Really?
I think definitely there is a lot of competition in Lincoln. I will say that, and I think that probably is my biggest challenge and fear. But otherwise, I'm very confident in the house because it's something different, you know, and you can fit 8 people, sleep 8 people, which is awesome.
What's your desire, or what are your ideas to overcome that competition?
Mostly just providing more amenities, and then getting more people booking, and maybe like lowering my price to be more competitive with that, and different with the amenities, and adding like different candies or whatever by the beds, and get like great reviews to up that. So yeah.
So what are you charging for that Husker Saturday?
It's $385
A day?
a night. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Can you set limitations to, like, so you said you rent out rooms or the entire thing together? Can you, on like specific like cluster game days, I want to rent out the entire house, or I can only want to rent out 4 separate rooms?
No, so I only have it as just the whole house.
Okay.
And just the entire house for the day or for the weekend.
But there are some Airbnbs that do that. I
Yeah.
think.
Yep. Mhm.
Have individual rooms.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and a lot of people are going to Airbnb instead of like hotels and stuff, even if they have to drive 5 to 10 minutes. But I mean, you get a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house for $380 a night compared to a hotel on a Husker Saturday. It's just kind of that type of thing. So yeah.
Kind of, for business travel, it's kind of interesting. A lot of big companies have got formal policies now on whether employees can or cannot stay in Airbnbs on business travel.
Yeah.
What kind of cleaning fee do you charge with your?
So I charge $50, yeah, and then I go in and clean it. So, and then if they, another thing is, what's nice about me going in is, since I am the host, I can go in and see how they left it and different things, and then I can take further action if there is things missing or whatever, and message them or call them, whatever. Yeah.
Do you have laundry facilities?
I do. Yep. Washer and dryer, detergent, dryer sheets, softener, sunscreen, first aid.
Prepare the meals too?
I don't, but I am offering it on Saturdays. So if they want, I'm giving it an option. So it's just something to test the water, and game day transportation too. I'm offering that too.
I was
Yeah.
gonna ask outside of cleaning that place for $50 would you mind?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one thing
So-
I've noticed. I've stayed at a few, and I'm staying at one in Charlottesville here.
Awesome. Yeah.
But the cleaning fees.
Yes.
Somehow, very high cleaning fees.
Mhm.
And the cancellation policy is very,
Yeah.
and all that.
Definitely. Yeah. And everybody's different too. So, yeah.
Have you ever thought about giving the cleaning fee back if they left it super clean? 'Cause when I always stayed in them,
Yeah.
I always felt terrible leaving it dirty, even though I paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, I always cleaned it really well.
So kind of how I figure it in is I do it with, I've never had anybody leave it super dirty, but I factor it in with my laundry, and the laundry I do with the sheets, and because I do about 3 loads. So with sheets and towels, and then some of the rugs if they're dirty or whatever too. So that's kind of how I factor it in. Yeah.
How would you figure out that cleaning schedule if you didn't do it?
I have a backup. Yes. So.
Because, I mean, it's for the moment.
It definitely is.
Checked out now.
Yeah.
But this afternoon at 3 o'clock, I have somebody coming
Yep.
again. So you've got that 3-hour window.
Yes. Yep.
And it may only be on Monday and Thursday. So it's not consistent.
Yep. Yeah. And luckily enough for me, I've only had to do that like 2 times, and that was over the summer because I was out of town. But otherwise, yeah, I just found a cleaner that came in and did that. So, and I have second sets of everything, so bedding, towels, all that different stuff. So then when she comes in, I don't have to pay a whole bunch for her to do laundry and all the different stuff. I just switch it out, and then she vacuums and it's clean. So ready for the next one. Yeah.
What business structure would you recommend for somebody with interested in starting a Airbnb?
The structure?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like,
run it off of my personal income tax, or get an
Mhm.
LLC, or a corporation, or?
yeah, so definitely, I just keep the receipts for everything, and then I can write it off as my business thing, but it's just like any other business.
If
With
you
any,
say you're an LLC.
yeah, yep,
Yeah. So
yeah.
that would be,
Yeah, sorry.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yep, I run it through my LLC. Yep. Yeah.
So Airbnb
Mhm.
has competitors.
Yeah.
You've got VRBO.
VRBO,
And there's some
mhm.
others out there. Do you also list on VRBO?
So I have thought about getting into it, but then it's another thing with that calendar. So I mean, I could block off certain weekends and then list it on there for a couple weekends, but I haven't really ventured into that yet. I've just been kind of seeing how the Airbnb goes so far, but definitely there and a couple other places too. Yeah.
Why did you choose Airbnb over VRBO?
I think more for the flexibility, and I knew I wasn't super familiar with VRBO, and Airbnb. I kind of just got on there and booked a trip, and when I was going, and thought I'd experience it before I started hosting and different things like that to kind of get familiar with it. But otherwise, I was just more of that familiarity, and then other people doing it too. So, and it had been working for them, and then maybe venture out in the future. So, yeah.
Do you network with any other Airbnb owners?
Yeah, so I'm in the REPG group here in Lincoln. That's the second Monday of every month. It's just a group of investors going out and just networking, and they have a speaker every month, kind of like this, and they meet on second Monday at 7 o'clock, and yeah, and so I kind of talked to a bunch of them about different things like that, and kind of seeing what they do, and because everybody's different too, so yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's your liability insurance difference over a normal homeowner in terms of carrying liability in a situation like that?
You know, so I haven't ventured into that. So
You're running it back from Dad.
Yeah.
And I have no.
Yep.
But the bottom line is.
Yeah.
He's dealt with all of that front end stuff. Do you know what that kind of added cost is?
I don't.
And any other taxes or things? What does that do? Because if he's owning it as a rental property, so it's not your own basic home, so the taxation
Yeah.
is different too.
Yep.
And how do you roll all that into the cost of what you determine for rentals and that? So how do you make the property profitable? I guess that's the bottom line.
Just keeping it booked, and kind of doing the math of, okay, how many nights do I need to get booked at this price in order to pay that rent, or pay, make a little extra every month, which I haven't had a problem with, but just kind of working out your numbers, definitely, and then again, what you put into it, getting that all paid off too. So yeah. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
So when you were working the numbers, how many nights stay did you estimate that you would have so that you could kind of set that price and be able to meet that?
I think I did, because when I started out, I did a really low price during the week, just because I was trying to get it booked. I'm like, I want to get this thing off the ground. But I did about a 20 night average, 20 to 25, yeah. And some nights I have really high, so then that covered other nights or different things like that to work in there. So, but I'm constantly changing. I have a minimum price that I like personally, and then I go in and change it whatever I want, higher or lower from that. So.
Have you noticed any seasonality in your bookings yet, or have you not been at it long enough?
So I kind of hit a lull for about 2 weeks. I didn't have anything, and it was just kind of dead. But otherwise, and then I talked to a couple other people, and they said it was the same. So I don't know if it's just everyone's moving or.
Month or?
Kind of beginning of August. End of July, beginning of August kind of type. So, yeah. Yeah.
One more question.
So where is,
Go ahead, I'll let you go.
where is your house located?
It's off of West A area, so kind of by Pioneers Park. It's about 5 to 7 minutes downtown.
An extreme amount of
Nope.
around necessarily to.
There's a lot of restaurants.
Well, yeah, but it's not like a destination.
Oh,
area.
no.
Not like by the stadium.
Nope. No, that and then, not necessarily, but it's a lot of like that newly developed neighborhood and different things like that that would attract people. Yeah. Yeah.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
One, do you have a flat rate, or does it matter how many people? If there's 2 people, is it the same price if there's 8 people?
Yep.
Okay, so it doesn't matter how many
Nope.
people.
Yep. They just get the whole house if they want it. So.
And then what have you noticed is your demographic? Is it business travelers? Is it families? Is it people that are kind of close by, or are they coming from far away?
Family and friends, definitely. If they have family that live in Lincoln and it's just a couple minutes from where the other people stay, they'll come and they'll stay there. Otherwise, I've had a couple couples come and stay they were going to a concert or different things like that. Or just passing through for a night. Yep, because it's right by the interstate too. So, yeah.
Andrea, thank
Yeah,
you so much.
yeah, no problem. Thank you.
As a thank you, we'd like to present you with a Focus Suite mug.
Thank you very much.
And
I will
so,
use it.
Thank you so much. I knew
Yeah.
there'd be a lot of great questions, and there were. And so thank you for being here
Yeah.
and giving us your time.
For sure.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Feel free to hang around here as long as you like.